So with plenty use, they used this incorporation of soya into the cereal aspect, and that's what this product now called Sama Posha, which is coming up, which is a mixture of soy flour, soya, rice, corn, and mung beans or green gram. So all four are in that, and this is a highly nutritious one. You can have a cereal out of for the small children, even the adults or seniors, they can have. And people have got used to it. Now I was happy to see that this product can be bought in Canada in some of the Sri Lankan shops. Plenty has been the foundation for all these, what you call lateral effect or whatever you may call it, or ripple effect. We strategized on the training aspect of these entrepreneurs. So that what we will do is we'll bring the people who are wanting to do some product training, train them, and then they will go out and start their own businesses.
The UN has declared years of biodiversity, years of rapprochement of cultures, and recognizes that traditional knowledge, indigenous traditional knowledge, is a key element to the challenges we face surviving as human beings on this planet. This challenge is exemplified in the case of the American eel. The eel fed indigenous peoples, and still does, from Venezuela throughout the whole Caribbean basin, all the way to the northern Labrador, much of interior Ontario. The eel has an incredible capacity to work its way up small streams, even wetlands, even crawl across small stretches of land to go further upstream. And at the time of settlement, it was one of the food sources that we shared knowledge about how to process and use. Also, the skin was used, in our case, for the backings of wampum belts, for all kinds of things. It was waterproof, durable. The fat, depending on when you harvested the eel, provided all kinds of different medicines. And of course, it was the favored protein source for traveling overland for a long period of time. No other protein preserved as well as eel.
This area, Lake Ontario, and all these little feeder creeks that go into the St. Lawrence and Lake Ontario, they were the breeding grounds, and that's where the big females, they would come up and spend their whole life in Lake Ontario, the Ottawa River, growing. Probably 25 years they'd spend up in these little creeks till they got to be mature females, and then they would head back down into Lake Ontario, then out into the ocean and spawn in the Sargasso Sea and start the cycle all over again. And native people from this area and all along the St. Lawrence harvested a lot of eel. The food value and nutritional value of the eel was far greater than any other meat that was out there. The skins were used for lots of things, bow handles, and the ladies used them for hair ties, and if you had a sprained ankle or a broken arm, they could use that skin or that skin of that eel. It had a tightening quality to it. You wrap it on wet and it just slowly tightens up into almost like a cast. So you'd use it for setting bones. It had a lot of uses. It's in decline now mainly because of a lot of these rivers and creeks are all dammed up, and they have turbines in them for creating power. And the small eels, they can get through without getting chewed up by turbines. But the big eels going back down, they could be 4 or 5 feet long, and they either get killed or badly injured trying to get through these. It's like running the gauntlet. I think there's 4,000 dams with turbines on them within the eel home range just in Canada. So you can just imagine, they might get through one, but they're not going to get through all of them.
This aquatic species, and by the way, it's one of the two, that and lake sturgeon, are the two oldest aquatic species we have in this part of the world. So we have a responsibility there. It's an ancient friend. It also did a lot, it was like the wolf. It did a lot to prevent invasive alien species. I know now, but it says if you want to fix invasive alien species in our aquatic systems, bring back the eel. And it's not complicated. We just we need to apply appropriate technology to the hydro dams that we have and are building. And we have to accept that the cost of true green power is to address the needs of our aquatic species.
I think, again, because of Plenty Canada's values, there is a segment of Canadian society that really gets it. They really understand what the organization stands for and what it means when you actually donate to an organization that's doing these wonderful hands-on grassroots projects, if you will, that really deliver aid and assistance and support to local communities. What that means when it's done with the best of intentions, without any sort of coercive angle, when it's really done on a common sense level. All of these things, I think, really appeal to a wide segment of the Canadian population, and that's why Plenty Canada's been able to survive, even through some very difficult times in its history.
Plenty is really in a great spot, I think, right now, with to be sort of a bridge for all these. We're finding that happening all the time. Like Parks Canada's calling here, and other government people are calling here just to sort of say, like, you know, can we work together on this? And so that's a positive thing. Yeah, we're starting to work together more now, a lot more. So they're finding out about us with traditional knowledge, and we've got Western science and traditional knowledge working right together, and that's perfect.
To be frank, the reason I joined Plenty Canada was that the commitment of especially Larry and Nancy to the development programs. I could see that they have put their heart and soul into these development programs. I think they were not interested in themselves, but they're interested in others.
And one of the things that Plenty really understands is it's not just the technology that has to change. The fixes to our environmental problems, particularly with respect to climate change, aren't limited to technological innovation and change, although that's very important. But cultural values have to shift.
I think one of the elements of success for Plenty Canada has been the relationship with key leadership in the countries that we've worked. The principles of finding good people, the people who are committed to their communities, is essential. And developing that skill of identifying the people who are going to be there tomorrow to help their communities, that is very, very important. And that didn't come overnight. Certainly, Jayabal is one of those key leaders who came from Sri Lanka and delivered an amazing project back to his country. Despite having been driven out of his own country, he still continued to give to his country from exile. So, you know, that's probably one of the most important ingredients to Plenty's success over the last 34 years.